you guys, it is me, Mario, and today we're gonna be teaching you guys how to drive a monster truck. Hell yeah. So if you are a monster truck lover like me, and this is also coming from years upon years of experience with Monster Jam, so if you want to become a monster truck driver, watch this video. So you should know about what Monster Jam does first before each race. Show birds. Alrighty, so obviously let's take a look at the track first. You see that it's all wet? That's because if it's not wet and these 12,000-pound trucks can go over it, they might just be able to push it like a bulldozer. And as for that'll be bad because that'll wreck the whole truck and there won't be much of a show. So what they do is they wet it first, and then in some shows, actually all shows, they paint it and make it look great. That's why all the races they go to have the jumps painted in like green, black, yellow, all the different colors, red, blue, like the red and blue series. Yeah, so that's how that's like. So on to our next lesson about how to race. The tips on racing in Monster Jam, an arena, and also a big race. Becoming a pro monster truck driver, it's safe to know that when you are turning, you want to make sure that you are completely on the ground while drifting, because drifting could end your racing very poorly and bad, and might continue to where you won't be able to continue for the rest of the night. So what you want to do is that you want to make sure that front tire is not like a lot in the sky, right? You want to make sure that it's at least like that, all right? So if it's like way up here, this back tire right here could possibly roll the truck and possibly make it to where you will not be able to continue on with that race. So instead of making that mistake, you want to try to keep the front tire on the ground as possible. Otherwise, the truck could possibly tip due to this back tire. And another thing, this piece right there could snap off the tire, and that could end off badly for your truck, and it could possibly continue to where you won't be able to race at all, and also not be able to do freestyle. What you want to do is just simply do a nice turn. If your tire's just a little up, it's not going to do anything, but you want to make a great turn to continue on with the race, just like an arena stadium chip. On with the next lesson. So the next lesson is about how to turn by not clipping the turn. So clipping the turn is basically when a truck comes over a rock or like just anything on the course that tells you to go that way. When you're turning, you don't want to clip the turn. Otherwise, you could possibly roll the truck, or it might just like pull you up and slow you down to where you won't be able to get as fast, and you might not pass that finish line before the other truck. So what you want to do is you want to try to miss that thing as much as possible. Otherwise, you could hit it and trip the truck, or make you go slow and wheelie, because that could cause a wheelie. On to the next tips on how to do two-wheel skill. We all know Max D, Gravedigger, Son of Digger, we all know they are masters at doing moonwalks, as an example of literally moonwalking it up a ramp, or literally doing a bicycle around the whole arena. That's what those trucks are made for. So when we come back around here, so you want to know, from when you do a two-wheel skills challenge, you want to make sure that you let the front tires, you want to break it a little off the ramp, not too hard. Don't break it too hard, otherwise you could possibly make it to where you tumble over and not be able to continue with that run. So what you want to do when you're doing a moonwalk, you want to you want to lightly press the brake and brake the truck as soon as possible. Otherwise, you could possibly make it roll over. But when you're doing a moonwalk, don't just sit it. You want to keep on moving. Otherwise, if you don't move the truck, you could possibly roll it over and end your run. And that's not what you want to do. You want to make sure the fans are happy with that run. So when you want to do stuff, is you want to do something crazy, you just gotta go real quick on it, like this. Like that, yeah. So Max D's doing a great example here. That's what you want to do. And if you want to go a little crazy, sometimes our boy Gravedigger will go on try to stick it up on one tire for a second and keep on continuing with that run. And you know, that's only how most trucks do moonwalks. Max D, on the other hand, will literally start from a backflip ramp. So, all right, Mohawk Warrior can come over here. So, pretend Mohawk Warrior is a backflip ramp. All right. So what you want to do is when Max D were to park his truck on top of a backflip ramp, he will floor the truck. He will press the gas and brake it. He will take from the gas and he will brake the truck and then pull it up into a nice stoppie and then soonly turn into a moonwalk. And yes, stoppies and moonwalks are completely different. Stoppies is where a truck will stop on the front tires and then slam it right back down. And a moonwalk is where they walk the front tires like up a ramp or something. But what Tom Meents did in World Finals 2022 is that he completely did a front flip with doing a two-wheel skill. Watch the World Finals 2022 two-wheel skill and you will see that happening. And it's pretty insane how a 12,000 pound truck did that. But that's only the basic, that's only what Tom Meents does. Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger created this, well, I don't know if he created it, but he did an awesome job with the bicycle in World Finals 2018. The last time they were ever in Istanbul with him is where the first, or when I saw, was the first ever of a bicycle happening and then stopping it and pulling it into a moonwalk. Kinda. He kinda just like stopped and then it kinda slammed back down. That's was an awesome thing, and he's been doing that like all ever since then. He would like go for a long time and then stop and then keep continuing that moonwalk. It's pretty cool. On to our next tips, which is freestyle tips. For the last thing is the father of freestyle here is going to teach you on how freestyle works in most scenarios. So in freestyle and arena, well, honestly, freestyle's kind of the same, but just in arena, you usually only have like 70 seconds before the clock runs out, and that's all of the time you have. But for freestyle and arena, you might not think there's much to do. Well, in Gravedigger's case, he kind of finds stuff to do. Like if there's like, all right, hold on, let me fix this to make it a little bit higher. If that were to be a wheelie bar in there, he will literally sky wheelie it and then land it like this to where the truck can stop. And that's just his trick. That's just what I saw when Weston came to Las Vegas and Thomas and Mac watched the show. It's pretty good. Is where Gravedigger does a great job on that. He kind of just like, so what he does, and he kind of did it for two-wheel skills too. He ran up to it and just jumped and then just landed like that and shut off his truck. And he stood like that for a while. And that's how, and there's like a little switch in there that when it's sitting up like this, that means there's a switch in there that will shut off the truck to where it doesn't roll back and hurt the driver. So pretty cool. And we'll also learn about, and before we end this video off, we will learn about what trucks need before they enter into a show. So as we see, Gravedigger, so when Gravedigger is into a freestyle competition, sometimes he'll start off with big air, jumping across the stadium, and he loves to do crazy stuff. That's what Gravedigger is all about. It's crazy stuff. So when Gravedigger were to just, so here's one thing: you do not want to just floor it into a jump, otherwise you will like fly. Which that's what most monster trucks want to do. Is you don't want to do that. It could possibly end you like this. End you upside down like this and end your run. And and that's in most case scenarios. If a jump were to be like a flat surface like that, and a truck were to like just try to do it like a jump, it's a possibility that it could end up like this. Sometimes they could probably save it, but if it's just stuck like this, that's the end of their run. And if you were to ever do this, you probably went freestyle if you were pretty close to the end. Anyway, back to what I was saying is that you want to just go fast and then brake and then just jump like that. And I promise you, some drivers will floor it straight into the jump if it's like low enough to where it's not like so steep of a jump. They'll probably just like coast it and then jump it, and like sometimes they'll probably take it up and like go pretty high with it, probably 50 feet in the air before they yeah. And obviously you want to know on how does a backflip perform and how can you pull it off without any problems. Well, a backflip's kind of simple. It's like a loop-de-loop. You want to have as much, well, for monster trucks example, you want to just slowly approach the backflip ramp and then floor it and then try to nail the backflip. Some people can just like, they miss it and they're like up to the container thing and they'll floor it then and then not have enough power and land it like this. What you want to do is just slowly approach it and just backflip it like this. And that's how a monster truck usually works with a backflip. Sometimes it'll contain a, well, some drivers can honestly accidentally just floor it too much and just overdose it, and boom, you land like this, or you break the back tires and you can't continue the run. So what you want to do is just slowly approach it and just floor it, and then you'll nail the backflip just like that. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but most of the time it works. I promise you. I probably like 50% chance it might not work and 90% chance it might work, or however that works. So that's on that. But the next things we're gonna learn is, what does the monster truck need to continue Monster Jam? What does it need in order to be a monster truck? So obviously the monster truck needs a CRD chassis. That's what this body is on. A CRD chassis and BKT tires, which you will find on BKT tires. I guess, I don't know, I think it's just exclusive to monster trucks, but you will find you will need BKT tires, a CRD chassis, a nice motor, which I forgot what the company made it, but that's what you need. And then of course you're gonna need a lot more, but there's a lot of parts in there that I don't really need. You obviously need your shocks to make sure that when the truck jumps, you want to make sure it bounces and not just like, otherwise your foot will probably be in a large amount of pain by the end of that run. So what you want to do is always have shocks in a truck, and just, yeah. You know, some drivers will like to have their motor in the back, while Max D used to have his motor in the front, which it's no big difference, honestly. It's kind of just I mean, they all use the same motors. It's just like some of them change the exhaust on it, and it makes them sound just a bit different. You know, this is how monster trucks work now, and that's just, monster trucks obviously need a emergency remote. That's what somebody in the stands will have a remote that will press it and shut the truck off. If you're close to like a wall and your truck, so like actually your wall and Gravedigger is the truck. So when Gravedigger were to jump and be super close to the wall, they will shut off the truck and try to avoid hitting the wall in order to destroy the truck, break the axles, or like just destroy the wall in big case scenarios. Because remember, these trucks are 12,000 pounds. They're pretty heavy. They can probably smash through a lot of stuff. Probably, like, you can probably smash through the biggest boulder on the wall. Like, seriously, they're pretty strong. But that is how a monster truck is, and that is how you will become the best monster truck, a pro monster truck driver, before you even get into Monster Jam. Just remember these steps, alright? When turning, make sure when the front tires are up, make sure just try to coast it out. And also, you don't want to be too rough on racing, otherwise you could break your truck and lose the whole race. Possibility you won't be able to come back. And in freestyle, two-wheel skill. Two-wheel skill, obviously, just be careful when you pull into moonwalk. Wheelies are pretty easy. All you need to do is just like brake, power it, and it'll just flop up. And sky wheelies are pretty easy. All you need to do is just kind of just like try to have it straight up, like here, right here. Can you demonstrate that? Yeah. Okay. Next, you move out of the way. So like a sky wheelie, all you have to do is just like do that and then do that. Yeah. That is how a monster truck will work in Monster Jam. And if you want to become a monster truck driver, this is not sponsored. This is just a university we can go to. It is in Paxton, Illinois. Monster Jam University, held by Tom Menz himself. You can go up there and UNOH, I think it is where you can go and learn how to drive these big 12,000-pound trucks and possibly get into Monster Jam. So, and obviously, that's also where you can become a NASCAR driver, a IndyCar driver, just any motorsport. Honestly, that's where you learn to become a motorsport master. And well, then hopefully this video helped you guys a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. This comes from years upon years of experience with Monster Jam. See you guys in the next video.